Hello there. I would like to talk to you today about a mathematic topic called average, or in math terms, you'll more specifically be called the mean. It's not that you're being mean, yeah, you'll get it. All right. So, let's talk about this idea of average. What is the average? Well, the average is when you take a few pieces of data, numbers, and you put them together. And let's see, I want one more that's gonna be nice. Okay, nice to play with. Let's see, do I like that? What's that add to? Can you guys add that up in your head? See, this is what happens when you just start putting numbers on the screen. And let's go one more. Yeah, let's go one more. No, I don't like that one. I don't like that last one. Forget that. I'm taking that one away. Take that away. Ooh, that's not taken away. Let's take it away. There we go. Okay. Let's see. I want this to be a... There. I like that. Okay. So let's look at this data set. What is it? It could be the number of times a player caught a ball. It could be the number of scores on quizzes you got out of 5 potential. It could be anything. So let's just pretend for a minute. So let's look at this. First of all, to figure out, we want to look at our data set. You'll notice that we have 2 5s and 2 2s. Okay, the number that shows up the most is called the mode. The mode. So in this case, we have 2 modes. The other thing we would want to do with the data set, if you were going to get super fancy, is line it up in order, low to high. If you did that, you could then find the middle of the data set, which, since this is 5 pieces of data, it's a 2. We call that the median. I always like to think of like the road, the middle of the road on Esplanade is the median. We are really talking about the average, or the mean. Well, one more piece of things you could talk about is the range. That's the difference between the biggest number and the smallest number. That can be called the range. So in this case, the data range is 4. We're 4 steps apart. All those things help you kind of figure out, like, you know, if you just talk about, like, looking at like, how many pieces of data are there? 5, not that much in the big picture. Are they pretty close together? For the most part. For the most part, they're pretty close together. Okay, so what's the mean? What's the average? What we do is add them together. So what do you get? 5, 10, 12, 14, 15. So our total, our sum, let's just write sum equals 15. And then what you do is you take that sum total and divide by how many pieces of data there are. So this would be 15 divided by 5. Okay. 15 divided by 5. If you know your math facts, you know that that's a 3. 3 times 5 is 15. Subtract, nothing left over. So the average of this data set is 3. Now what's interesting about that, shade gray, is in our data set, there isn't even a 3, is there? It doesn't even come up. But yet the average, or the mean, is 3. So what that tells us is that if... That's not what I meant to do. I don't know why I just did that. There we go. It's a 3. It says, overall, this player caught the ball on average 3 times. Sometimes she caught 5 times, sometimes she caught 1, 2. But if we just kind of put a number on it to tell us a story about the whole data set, it's a 3. But the moral of this story, ladies and gentlemen, is to find the average, you'll see it written like that, or the mean, same thing, they're the same thing. Sum the data set, then divide by the number of pieces of data there are. Got it? Boom!